How's it going? Once again, this is Jose Trujillo. I'm the world's greatest living artist. I'm coming to you from a corner of my art studio to do another one of my awesome paintings. And today I'm going to be doing a small 8 by 10 um, 8 by 10 inches on canvas board. And this is an awesome painting. Why? Because I'm doing it. That's why. Alright, here we go. It's gonna be a landscape painting, okay? I'm gonna put a little tree right there. It's gonna be super awesome. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Alright. So here's the thing, guys. Some people have asked me about the speed in which I paint. How is it that I get to pull it off? And I don't know. I guess really the question is, how is it that I do it without looking like completely like crap? I think that's the question. The way I look at it. For those of you who see what I do and are like, well, how is it possible that he can do a painting in less than 10 minutes? You know, it's very possible. Watch, John Constable used to do it. I think every artist out there that paints in a similar loose brushwork style does it and has done it. Now, whether they want to tell you or not, or they may make little videos like this or not, that's different, you know. And for the longest time, I was even ashamed of showing it. Believe it or not, I was like, oh man, people are going to be like, man, you do it so quick, it's not even true, blah, blah. And that was part of one of the reasons why I wouldn't do videos, because not because I had something to hide. I mean, you guys sit here, you know, it's very transparent. I don't really care. I don't care. It was more from kind of like a shame, you know, like, oh man, how are you? And this didn't happen recently. This used to happen to me like years ago, you know. I'm talking about 6-7 years ago, where I was like, man, and that's the reason why I wanted to do videos, because I was like, man, people are gonna be like, you paint so fast, it's not, you know. But then my sanity came to me, right? Because I think that if you're thinking like that, you're a bit insane. My sanity came to me if you're the artist. And was like, dude, knock it off. Like, shut up. Mind, be quiet. Why? Because, guys, I paint 14, sometimes 19 hours a day. I am, if you guys ever heard of someone named Gary Vaynerchuk, I am a student of that guy. I'm a student of Grant Cardone. I believe in hard work. I believe that hard work is more important, and of course the hustle and all of that, but I believe that hard work is more important than your talent. I really believe that. I believe that if you have talent and hard work, you have the best of both worlds. But if you don't have talent yet and you have hard work, you're better off than many, many people with talent. That's what I believe. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I work very hard I've hustled it to be able to paint the way that I do. This is not my first rodeo. And if you're having feelings like that about your own work, about, man, my stuff is not good enough, stop comparing it to someone else's. You know, stop comparing your stuff to someone else's. Stop comparing the stuff to maybe your influences or you know, if you're comparing your stuff to mine, you're not really getting what I'm trying to share here to you guys. Because I'm not trying to get you to paint like me, you know. If you like it, fine. I mean, whatever, you know. I don't think I have anything so unique that you can grab right away. You know, I don't think that it's like, oh, look, if you do this, you do that, then you're set. No, this is like every brushstroke has taken me years and years and years and painful hours of practice. That it looks like, oh, that's nothing. What are you talking about? Well, for me, it is. You know. So the reason I'm saying is don't be ashamed of your process, as I was. I was ashamed of my process because I believe that I had to perform like other artists. You know, that I had to take my time with the painting. You know, do the this and that. But that's not the way I paint. It was never the way I paint. It didn't mean that I didn't put in my hours, that I didn't practice my craft. As a matter of fact, the way that I create my artwork, I am so happy about it. Sometimes I'll do a palette knife, sometimes I'll work it with a brush. It doesn't matter, right? The tool it's not, here the tool is not the important part. What is important is that, you know, I create my artwork in such a way that that it speaks to me, that I understand it. I've dissected it. Brushstroke by brushstroke, I know what it means. I understand what I'm trying to do. And some people also understand it. Some people are like, oh man, I get it. You know, I have some collectors who I have many collectors who like to collect the artwork and like to comment on why it speaks to them. And the reason why it speaks to them is all different, right? Different stuff. But they all say something in common, and it's something that I think that that doesn't come from me, that you can't recreate, that only practice doesn't come from my mental, you know, like, oh, I thought about doing this. It comes from somewhere else. And I'm just telling you, if you paint slow, if you paint fast, if you paint whatever it is that you do, it doesn't matter. As long as you keep at it, you keep practicing, you keep you stop comparing yourself, okay, and you just keep going. You're going to eventually, sooner than later, you're going to create that thing. Everybody is creating that thing. Every artist, every major artist that we're like, oh my God, look at that artist. You know, think of an artist. They're all doing that. They're all living or dead. They're all they all have something in common, and that is, I believe, that they are expressing the intangible, something that cannot be expressed. You don't see a painting and go, oh man, yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. If you're looking at that, if you're looking at a painting from that angle, there's nothing wrong with it. You're just looking from one dimension. If you're looking at a painting and say, yeah, that's exactly what a landscape looks with, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's only one dimension. The other dimension is how you feel about it. The other one is how the artist feels about it. The other dimension, there's many dimensions. The other dimension is the depth of it. It's not only how it feels, how you feel, how the artist, but the depth of observation. That's another dimension. That's something very much missed in art. I believe it's very missed in art because everybody's trying to paint pretty pictures. And there's nothing wrong with pretty pictures. The thing that where people get locked in is that pretty pictures don't tell you the full story many times. You see, for something to be great, it doesn't have to be realistic. And for something to be deep, doesn't have to be abstract either. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, look, it's not always, for example, you have someone like John Singer Sargent, right? Portrait painter. And you look at those portrait paintings and you think to yourself, oh man, like no one else could paint portrait paintings like him. And you may be right, like him, no one else. But in that depth that he did it, in that loose, almost loose brushwork, where it was almost like a realistic photograph, kind of shaken, kind of out of focus and then refocus. Kind of, he did some magic with that stuff, You can look at the British artist, I forgot his name. Oh, Lucien Freud, or Freud. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Lucien. This guy, one of my favorites, even though I can't pronounce his name correctly. You see his portraits, and if you're a fan of portraiture, man, it's like he didn't paint the subject only, he painted the meaning. He went as deep as painting the vibrancy, the meaning of the subject, what the subject is. You could almost sense what the subject is not thinking. This is not about thinking. You can sense there's more than 3 dimensions happening. There's more than 3 dimensions. You have your and I'll make a video explaining this a little bit more for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about. Not because it's some deep conversation, but because maybe you don't understand certain things about art like that. But you have your first, second, third dimension in artwork, whatever, and then you have people like Lucien Freud who go beyond 3 dimension, who actually go deep. You have people like Van Gogh who do that. He did that with impasto. They went deep. I try to do that every time I paint with my loose brushwork. I do it with impasto. I try to do it, and I try to go deeper. I don't just want to paint the landscape. I want to go deep inside of it. And one of the things that helps me do that is immediacy. Now, other artists use length of time, like Lucien Freud. I believe he sits his people for a long time. The sittings. I believe it's years, I think. It's a tremendous commitment for the sitter. For the sitter is the model, right? The person that's going to be the center of the portrait. But I try to do that. I try to do something like that in my own way. It's not that I'm trying to mimic him. I'm trying to go deep as he did, as Van Gogh did, as Monet did, doing his little patches of color that almost made it look like plush. Monet would do something like this. He would get the color, and then he would create kind of like a plush effect, and then let it rest, and then come back to it, and he would do stuff like that. When I wanted to paint a tree, he would do like little plush, and then go back to it. And you can tell in the brushwork that he didn't go like this all the time. A lot of it he went like, he did different things in order to go deep into the painting, in order to go to communicate, to express something beyond the already stated. Okay, we see, yes, the tree is 3-dimensional. Yes, yes, we can see the lightness of how it's darker higher up in the sky, and it's lighter. The more plain it is, the lighter it is. The more erect the object is, the darker it is. And then the farther away, the more fuzzy it is. Like all those rules. Yes, everybody understands that who paints, right? But then there's artists who start going deeper, and that's my path right now. That's what I'm trying to share. That's why I paint fast. That's why I do this, because I'm trying to share my process with you guys as I'm growing and as I'm going on this journey to become the world's greatest living artist. I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time.